Nowadays, we have quite a few Catalyst characters with a different playstyle, such as Nervalette and Risley. However, the first released character of this type is mostly left unused. Heizou. I've always wanted to build him on my main account, and with a C6 Faruzan, I finally have a good excuse to build him. Given his playstyle, Heizou is much more geared towards being a sub-DPS than a main DPS. His burst is one instance of animo damage, and his skill has a 4-stack mechanic where he can deal an insane amount of damage in one strike. His N1 to charge attack combo will allow you to get 2 stacks with relative ease, so it isn't too hard to fully stack it. Despite him being the first Catalyst character who actually throws hands, it isn't that optimal to keep him on field, for a DPS build at least. However, if you have C6 Faruzan, it's actually not too bad to keep him on field, thanks to the various buffs she gives. And so, I planned on making him an on-field damage dealer, with a focus on personal damage rather than swirl damage, hopefully doing enough to be called a main DPS. Because of the way I wanted to use him, my last 2 team members had to account for that, and be able to pull their weight off-field. I had a lot of different types of teams formulated, some good and some totally out of left field. Looking back on it, I am so glad I didn't run this team. Do you know how difficult it is to properly calculate for swirl aggravates on top of the regular damage the team would produce? If you watched the Heizou video, you know what I'm talking about. After deliberating for a while, I chose this specific team, with Furina and Kokomi. Having the consistent Hydro application made getting Heizou stacks really accessible. Furina inherently is also a broken character, giving damage bonus for practically no cost. And Kokomi allows for consistent healing, and even more Hydro application on top of Furina's. Before I move on to artifacts and weapons though, I need to do a lot of leveling. Like, a lot of leveling. Alright, with that huge slog out of the way, I can finally talk about builds. The best weapon I had for Heizou was Skyward Atlas. Given that I had no other 5-star weapons to speak of besides Yamiko's, which doesn't synergize well with Heizou's, this was a relatively easy choice. Of course, you could argue that Woodseth might be better than Skyward Atlas at Refinement 5, but given that Woodseth has such a low base attack, you wouldn't be getting much value out of Heizou's own scalings, which is one of the major points of this whole team in this whole video. Artifacts, though, were a different story.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
So N1C,
I mean,
instead of
okay.
all this other... You know what? Yes. I'm down for this. I'm down. Okay. You only go to... I mean, I'm only looking at skill damage. Add the charge attack multiplier. And obviously 400 just seems like by far...
Stop it. Get some help.
But am I gonna get a Hunter set that beats this? This is 7163 without a weapon that has crit substats. Am I really gonna get something like that? Especially this. There's no way, right? How am I gonna get anything to replace this?
What?
There's like no way. So in summary, Mara Chasse Hunter is simply the better artifact set with Furina in the party. It's not even close. Given the totals, you can see that the next best artifact set that I chose, or listed on the sheet, has a 20% damage deficit, given pretty similar ratios. I love farming for artifacts, yes I do. At least I had a second reason to farm this particular domain, since I didn't have good Furina pieces at the time of recording. So there's a plus, at least. As for the remaining 2 characters, I put Faruzan on a Favonius bow with 4-piece VV, and Kokomi on Prototype Amber with 4 Noblesse. Prototype Amber is extremely valuable for this team setup because it allows me to scale up Furina's fanfare stacks even faster. Now that that's out of the way, it's time to go to the artifact domain. Yay!
Eventually.
I started farming this domain 2 months ago. The Hunter set hates me. So, yeah, there's not really any upgrades to show. Luckily, I did get some good Furina pieces, so I have her built at least. Could be worse. I also did get enough time to actually figure out what my rotation should be. The way it works is that I go into Furina skill, then Faruzan skill for Shred, and Charge Shot if necessary for CC, Kokomi skill, Furina burst, Faruzan skill and burst, and then finally Kokomi burst, with some auto attacks if necessary for healing. And then finally going to Heizou combos. So Heizou burst normal, charge attack, burst skill, and then either normal attacking with charged attack, or doing his entire normal attack combo until I can get another Heizou skill off, and then starting the cycle again. If done optimally, I should be able to get the max damage on the second Heizou skill proc, and a massive amount of damage overall. Don't get me wrong, this rotation isn't necessarily optimal, and for some enemies, isn't that effective, especially the combo string. This is just something I cooked up, and it works for me, so that's how I'm gonna keep it. Now, with all that prep work done, I decided to put my newly formed team in the first half of Abyss. Despite the significant amount of anima resistance that's there. While I do want to showcase Heizou's personal damage, I found this team insanely fun to play with against enemies that can actually be CC'd. And, unfortunately, that can only really be showed on the first half of this Abyss, because the second half is all bosses. Also, since this Abyss recently released, there are some tips you can look forward to while you watch this part of the video. Hope you enjoy, and find the tips useful. This is definitely by far one of the funnest teams I have ever played. I mean, it's fun. It certainly isn't every day you can actually cause a massive concussion through fall damage in Abyss. This team could have definitely used some interruption resistance, I think, to make it slightly more user-friendly. But, I mean, that's honestly my skill issue speaking up, because people use teams like this all the time and they're fine. As for the largest damage I got with Heizou's skill, I think the largest I saw was 120k overall, which is ridiculous considering he's not even C6, which is his largest damage increase for a build like this. That said, I hope you enjoyed watching the video. If you'd like to see me build another character like this, please leave a comment down below of who you would like to see. Hopefully it won't take another 6 months to make a video like this, fingers crossed. But in any case, see you around.